This is in response to King Italian's video on what's the biggest issue in Destiny right now. And he thinks it's the LFG system, how there's none in the game. You have to go to LFG. Or you can always go to recent players and send messages to people, or go in the tower and send messages to people in the tower, you know, but whatever. I mean, those are in the game, but... And also, there's no, like, community inside of the tower talking. There's nobody talking to anybody inside Destiny, but I guess that's not an issue anyways. But my problem, and my solution, is... The biggest thing with Destiny that's holding me back from doing Destiny or playing it as much as I want to and shit like that is the fun factor. And for me right now, what's the most fun I have is the King's Fall raid. Dude, that raid is a 10 out of fucking 10. And doing Court of Oryx with friends. Dude, that shit is amazing, but Court of Oryx has its flaws. You can't do it with a crew. You need to find randoms to get in with your crew, and that's fucking convoluted and bullshit. You can't do a 6-man patrol. And you can't do the raid more than 3 times if you want loot. And so that would come into the problem where my biggest problem with the fucking game right now is still the broken ass handicap. And what I mean by that is it handicaps the people who have no life. Now I have somewhat of a life. I mean, I'm working like 37 hours this week and that shit. But I mean, I still have no life. I'm still on fucking Destiny and shit a lot lately. But I'm handicapped in what I can do, and what I mean by that is I do the raid 3 times, I do the Nightfall 3 times, I bang out my strikes, I bang out the dailies and stuff, and I still sit there like, what do I do? There's not much to do right now. I don't know what to do, because in my head, what I want to do and what I can't do is 2 different things. What I want to do is the raid. So fucking bad. This raid is amazing. All I want to do is just run the raid once a night. Like, once a night. It's that fucking good, man. If I could spend 2 hours a night playing the raid, I'd consider that fucking awesome. But the reason why I don't do it is because if I did that, I'd be playing the raid 7 times a week, getting loot for 3 of them, and then come 3 weeks or 4 weeks from now, I'm not going to want to play the raid. And I'll get burned out on it. And so what I'm literally doing is managing how much I play this so I have more fun in the future. Now, isn't that some bullshit? When have you ever thought to yourself, there's very few people that do this, there's some gamers I guess, but who limit themselves on how much they do something because too much of a good thing is a bad thing, and that's a fact. But my problem with it is let me decide too much is a good thing or too much is a bad thing. You know what I mean? Like, if I want to sit here and run the raid 6 times a week and get loot for it, that means in a month from now I'll be burnt out on it. And so this is the handicap that I've been talking about, and that they still keep in the game. They've had it since day one, where you hit a maximum number of marks, you hit a maximum number of this, you can only do this once a week, you can only do this 3 times a week, you can only do this that many times. There's so many limitations on this game. It's not an open world game. It's a here's what you can and can't do kind of game, where you can run the raid, but you don't get no loot. Well, this is a loot based game. Well, I mean, I guess. Yeah, it's just a bunch of bullshit, man. So my biggest problem is and still will always be the fucking handicap on what you can and can't do. I want to run the raid, 5 times a week. I can't. I have to run it 3. I can't fucking do the Nightfall, which used to be fun for me. If I could run the Nightfall more times than 3 because it was fun and give me mediocre, give me some type of reward though, give me, I don't know, maybe 5 strange coins if you beat the Nightfall. I don't fucking know. I just do something other than how you had this whole Nightfall playlist back in the day, which I always thought was fun. I always thought the Nightfall was fun. But you can only do that 3 times a week. like, here's this thing. You can only do 3 times a week. Nobody ran the Nightfall for fun. You might even ran it to kill yellows and shit. But that's my point. You only could do the raid 3 times a week before you stop getting the loot. Especially right now, because Vault of Glass is dead. There's no reason to run VOG unless you need like purple guns, purple gear to dismantle, or ascendant materials. So that's my problem. They keep limiting on what you can and can't do. They should have put year 2 exotics in VOG. I don't know. Should they have? I don't know. But it's what gives you something extra to do, because the way it is now, you can't do it because of the loot. You can't do Oryx past 3 times because of the loot. You can't do the Nightfall more than 3 times because of the loot. You can't run Vanguard strikes past a certain amount of time because then you don't get the loot, the marks. You can't do this and this and this and this because of the loot. They fucking fixed the loot system in the game, yes, but they fucking broke the mark system in this game. It's bullshit. I don't want to fucking... The only way to get marks is by dismantling purple guns half the fucking time now. It's stupid. I want to fucking just grind out the raid for fun and you can still get some loot. All you had to do is make it so that only a couple bosses drop on your 4th run, or on your 5th run only Oryx drops if you run a fresh raid. Oh, how about that? If you run a fresh raid from start to finish, as long as you're in the lobby and you've been in there the entire time, excluding a lag out, whatever, you would still get, you only get loot from orcs or something, man. Anything other than, oh, you can only run the raid 3 times a week if you want loot. It's dumb. It's limiting. It's not freedom. It's the opposite. It's only do this. You can only do that. You can only do this many times. So my biggest issue, man, I said this shit over and over again, but it bothers me. The biggest issue in this game is the limitations forced upon by Bungie to cater to noobs. Boom.